how to make 10K a month JVing your wholesale deals. Guys, it's Rick Ginn, and today we're going to talk all about JVing, and I'm going to walk you through what it is, how to find a JV partner, how to execute a great JV deal, and how to control and protect yourself. But before I get into it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button. You hit that subscribe button to continue to receive videos just like this. So what is a JV? It is just a cute acronym for joint venture. And this is basically when two people come together to work on one single wholesale deal. And the idea is there should be some sort of synergy. Both people are helping each other to make money. And when the deal is sold, it is over. So it is basically a temporary partnership. So it does come with some excellent perks, but it does come with some, let's call them cons. So why would someone want to do a JV? Well, the reality is some people are really good at finding great wholesale deals. Like me, that was my expert when I started out, and I sucked at dispositions. To be honest with you, I made so many wholesalers so much money that had no idea how to market other than a great cash buyers list. I know you're thinking like, Rick, why would you leave so much money on the table? Honestly, I was really good at connecting with sellers. So much I didn't spend a lot. If it was the slightest bit of work selling it, I would either find a realtor, but they were always too slow. So I'd find wholesalers, and I would find them that had like robust cash buyers list. They had to show me they've sold 3 deals recently in my market. And I go, you know what? For the cost of what I'm doing with it, what I'm making, I'd rather just take the money, because I was earning 20, 30K a month pretty quickly when I started out. And I wasn't spending any time on the disposition side. I was okay with it. They were tickled pink. Eventually I figured out how to do it. And here's the really cool part. By learning from them, part of my agreement with them is they had to show me how they did dispositions. Now, I didn't pay attention probably for the first year, but by year 2, I paid crazy close attention because I was giving away a lot of money, and I quickly had to figure out how to fix that part of my business. So sometimes you like to have singular focus. So I'm an ADHD, I fully admit it. I had to dive in deep in marketing and figure out how to talk with sellers. And that was my only focus. I figured I'd figure out dispositions later, and I was right. And honestly, it worked out well. And without those JV partners, I don't know where I'd be today, because they dug me out of a huge financial hole. One of the reasons I got into wholesaling, because I was in over my head in debt. I had no future in my corporate world, and I wanted to get freedom of time because I had 2 little children, little Zach and my daughter Leah, and I had to dig my way out of this hole as soon as possible. So anytime I got paid quickly, I took it, and that way a JV opportunity was perfect. And honestly, I had people calling me back to help them out do deals, and they would still dispo them because they didn't have the confidence to talk to sellers. So it can work out both ways. So everybody would ask me, Rick, how do you find a great JV partner? And honestly, you just got to look. It's kind of like fishing. You got to find out where the fish are. So you got to find out where the JV partners. Now, remember, everyone starts out as a perfect JV partner. Oh, Rick, let me work with you. I can help you sell your deals, or we can work on this deal together. It's always perfect. It's like when you go out dating, you're going to find the best version of them right there. If it even starts off south, meaning they give you attitude, there's a problem, don't do a deal with them, because it's going to be 10 times worse when you do it. The problem is, it's hard to decide who's real and who's not. It does take some time and experience. So spend the time to get to know these people and verify everything they say. Most people get in problem with JVs because you make assumptions. So if they told you they sold 3 deals in your market recently, ask for the address, ask for the HUD. If they can't produce them, they're lying to you. Why do you want to do a partnership with someone that's going to lie to you right off the bat? Most JV partners go south because you don't do your homework on them. And then you find out they're a con artist. They have tons of lawsuits. Honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world to do a background check on someone doing a JV agreement, because tell them, listen, I'm going to run a background check on you. And if they start to pull away, you already know you got a problem. Now, I really don't care about everyone's past, but if you have multiple lawsuits suing other investors, stuff like that, I don't want anything to do with you. You decide if you're a violent felon, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, that should be your prerogative. And like 20, 30 bucks, you can run a background check on anybody online. So stop taking everything your potential JV partner says for word. Verify it. If you don't verify it, it's on you. And I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's the truth. If you just take that steps, I think of the times I got screwed on a JV partner, I took what they said for word and it wasn't. And if I just snuffed it out in the beginning, it would have saved a lot of time. So when they start like, oh, no, but this, and they come out with excuses, that's what you're going to get for the entire JV deal. So where do we find them? The first place I always look is online because it's mostly efficient. I like Facebook because the groups are a little bit deeper, any type of investor forum. But remember, you got to vet these people. You have no idea. So, and remember, you've never met them in person. So you really have to be super careful. So Facebook, Instagram, one of my favorite places when I started out was going to the local RIA groups. This is an acronym for Real Estate Investors Associations. And what I like about these, they're physical meetups. Now, you can never judge a book by its cover. So you have no idea. If you want to partner up someone that maybe they have to fund a double closing, or maybe they got a robust cash buyer list, make sure you verify it. There's a lot of people that go to these meetings that sit in the back and wait for newbies to walk in with new deals, and they're going to take full advantage of you. Make sure you find out what their specialties are, and make sure you let them know we're going to do the paperwork and we are going to do an agreement. So I like physical meetups because you kind of get to know people, you can see who they're talking to, and then you can ask other people. And if they got a good reputation, they usually stand up. If they have a bad reputation, you usually find out really quick. So I love RIA meetings or any type of meetup groups. Now be very careful on any type of sales seminar that you're going to. That is not a great place to meet up with a JV partner. And to be honest with you, a lot of people go there targeting people because they're excited. They know they spent a little bit of money. And honestly, I never JV at any type of like sales pitch groups. So beware of the type of setting that you have. Now, one of the other great places to do it is when you go on the live streams, like at Flip with Rick, in the comments, make sure it's live comments. Anybody that does like recorded ones, avoid it like the plague. But if you're in the live comments, that is a great place to say, hey, listen, I'm in the North Carolina area. I'm looking to do JVs in the Fayetteville area. I've sold 3 deals. I can help you out. I want to do 50-50 agreements. That's someone probably worth kind of checking out. I love people active in live streams because it is a focus group. Obviously, we talk about wholesaling at Flip with Rick. And if they're live and active all the time and you see them in the comments, that is probably a person that's worth investigating. It doesn't mean you don't vet them, but I love live stream comments. Also in YouTube, you can make comments there because it doesn't have to be live, but it can be recorded. And you can find a lot of people with similar areas that do markets with you. Maybe they got a great buyer's list. You got some great wholesale deals. And if you guys can put it together, sometimes you're better working off together. Now, the next part of this equation, you got to decide which side of the JV agreement that you want to be on. So either you're going to be on the acquisitions, meaning you're finding off-market properties and you're going direct to seller and you're sitting down, you're doing appointments, you're doing it on the phone or you're doing it in person, or you're on the disposition side. Here's the problem with the disposition side, guys. I'm going to be honest here. There's so many gurus out there selling courses on how to be a disposition expert and chase every wholesaler down because I get hammered all day long on this. There's actually franchises that do this stuff now, and they want to either option your contract or have you do an exclusive agreement with them, and then they're going to just throw it out there. And here's the problem is they'll take 100 contracts and option them or put them under some sort of exclusive agreement. And then if 5 or 6 of them work out, they're fine with that. And that 95 wholesalers get screwed. Do not fall for that stuff. Those are pretend realtors. Most of them are licensed realtors. Honestly, if your dispo person is a licensed realtor, you better heed the warning because that's not a partnership. That's a salesperson. That is not a true JV partnership, in my opinion. This is my opinion. If you think it's right or not, it's up to you. But I'm just telling you, I can't stand the dispo stuff. So you know why I know about these courses is like the number one comment in our Wholesaling for Houseless Real course is, where y'all's cash buyers at? Hey, I have cash buyers. Let's hook up. That's not a productive comment. And that's the quickest way to get banned in our group. You actually have to offer value when you do a JV deal. It's not like, let me obligate you and I got 50 other people on a contract and I get 1 or 2. That's selfish because 1 or 2 of the contracts are going to work out, and those homeowners, there's wholesalers, they're all going to be disappointed. And I don't think that's the correct way to do business, and it's created a huge problem in our wholesaling world. So decide which way. If you're going to be on the disposition side and you want to find someone like me, you better show me that you've got the goods. Show me the last 3 to 5 deals you've closed in this area. Tell me how deep your cash buyers list. And by the way, that is a trick question. If they go, Rick, I got 5,000 cash buyers, I will not do business with you. You don't have 5,000 cash buyers. You got 5,000 wholesalers. And it's going to be all over the internet. and it's going to be daisy chained all over the place. Rick, I've got 25 quality cash buyers. 3 of them have bought here in the last month, and I think your deal is perfect for them. I know I can help you out. That's the type of person I want to partner up with to help me sell my deals. The person tells you that 5,000, then my favorite is like, I got 10,000 cash buyers. Run, guys. These are the ones that bought all these courses on whatever you want to call them. And all they want to do is obligate everybody and just sell 1 or 2 deals. And they don't care who they run under the bus. That is not JVing. Please do not sign up for a program like that, because I don't think it's good for our business. I'm just telling the truth. Does it work? It works for one person, and the other people get screwed on it. So decide which side you want to be on it. The truth of the matter, if you're on the acquisition side, you're pretty much in a control position. We're going to talk about the splits, I promise you. So in a perfect JV, you want to, whatever your weakness is, you want to find somebody that has a strength. So if I suck at dispo and I'm good with acquisitions, I'm going to find someone that's really good at dispositions, but they have to prove it. They can't say it. Watch what people do, ignore what they say. This is how you find a great JV partner. Everyone's, I'm the best, I'm the best. And then you ask them to prove it, and all of a sudden it's an excuse train. Don't accept the excuses. The excuses like, get past this because I don't want to work and I just want to piggyback off if you don't accept it. So how do we execute a great JV deal? The first thing is you got to get a commitment from the partner. Now, in a perfect world, you do a 50-50 split. Why? Because that's how a partnership works, okay? You don't have to worry about it so much. 50-50 means they do the work. The next thing, and when I say commitment, if I go out and get a property under contract and I've got a 30-day contingency period and I want to do dispo with this guy or this gal and I vetted them properly, the day I put it under contract or 2 days before, I'm already ramping them up to get it started. And then we're going to both go out and find the best cash buyer for it. And if I get lucky and I use his system or her system to find my deal, I'm still probably going to pay him for it. But when it comes to it, you have to define what the relationship is. So if the perfect JV deal is 50-50 and both work equal amounts, the reality is that's not always the truth. So if you want to protect yourself against that, make sure you don't sign an exclusive agreement with a dispo person. An option agreement, in my opinion, is even more reckless because that's on public record and that can create some real problems for you. So if you do an exclusive agreement, it means that person gets paid regardless of what they do. You better make sure they do their work. And honestly, the only person I give an exclusive is someone that's proven themselves, someone I've probably done previous business with, and I know they're going to help me in the deal. A non-exclusive says, listen, Mr. Dispo person, if you bring me a cash buyer, I will pay you. If you don't bring me a cash buyer, I am not going to pay you. It's kind of like a semi-private realtor like agreement, but they're not realtors, okay? I don't want my dispo people to be licensed because they always wind up in the franchise model when they do that. I need them to go out and hustle and find a cash buyer. Remember, we're selling contracts. We're not selling properties. I need that person to be specialized in selling a contract. That's why I really don't want a licensed person to do it. It doesn't mean you can't use a licensed person, but the odds are if they don't have a license, they usually just hustle a lot more. So the next thing you want to do is enter into a JV agreement. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to give you the JV agreement because it depends on what state you're in. It depends that you read the laws in your state. And here's my suggestion. To do a JV agreement, make them simple. 2 pages is ideal. When they're 5-6 pages, you better read through the whole dang thing because there's usually some hidden stuff in there. What I recommend is you work with your title company because this is the document you're going to provide to your title company. Title companies are usually owned or work with a real estate lawyer. In a perfect world, you go through a title company and a real estate lawyer, but the reality is the minimum you got to go through a title company. I'd still have a lawyer look it over. That's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm giving you the full disclosure on it. Once you do that, you give them the JV agreement. This is where a lot of you don't understand that agreement, the splits are negotiable. Now, 50-50 is ideal. You can do 60-40 because sometimes the one partner has a much higher skill set than the other one, and that's not uncommon. The ones you want to avoid are the ones that are like 90-10. Okay. I get people all the time call me and say, Rick, I want to sell. I have a Port St. Lucie deal. Can you help me sell it? I'll give you 10. I'll give you 20% because you're Rick. I don't get out of bed for 20%. It's a joke. That's not a partnership. I'm not going to be your licensed realtor. First of all, I'm not a licensed realtor. Number 2, I don't do that stuff. So who's teaching this model 80-20, 90-10? You guys are greedy when you do that. And you just need to do all the work because you want to get most of the profits, but you want someone to do all the heavy lifting and pay them 10 or 20%. That is not a good JV model. And most of those people that ran that model, they're pretty much out of business right now. So once you have that JV agreement signed, and a lot of you go, oh, okay, I gave it to the title company, I'm protected. You're not. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Okay. Your other partners, sometimes they can do whatever they want. Here's where your protection comes in. So if you're doing dispo, which a lot of you are for a great deal, and you have a great cash buyer to buy that contract, you should be in control of the assignment of contract. Now, make sure when you're doing your JV agreement, you and your partner agree on the assignment of contract. If you don't have one, go over to freewholesaling.com. We supply you one with over 20 years experience. And I've seen everything go wrong on an assignment of contract. This contract protects you from all of it. Now, what you need to do is make sure you're entered on a line item on that assignment of contract, and it spells out your company or your name getting paid X amount of fee. Now, you're not a licensed realtor, but you're allowed to collect a fee for the assignment. It's perfectly legal. By giving that document to the title company, you're giving them specific contract instructions. And if that title company doesn't follow it, they're at risk and they don't want to risk a lawsuit. Remember, they want to issue title insurance. So you've got to understand there's 3 key phases to control a JV deal. Number 1, ideally, you know the title company, you've worked with them before. Preferably it's your title company. But if you're using your partner's title company, get to know them. Drive by there, do whatever you got to do. Let them know I'm involved in this deal. Announce to the world. Step 2, make sure you give them a JV agreement with that property's address on there, spelling out your split, and make sure they know that goes in that file with that deal. But don't stop there. You control the assignment agreement, because once your name's on the assignment agreement, it guarantees you should get paid. And if you don't pay, you have 2 legal instruments to use with your real estate lawyer to not only get paid what you fairly do, you will get compensated your lawyer fees and everything else. Guys, you have to protect yourself in these JV agreements. Handshakes don't do it. The JV agreement alone doesn't do it. If you're doing dispo for someone, do the assignment of contract, because that basically lets that other wholesaler know that if you don't work with me on this assignment agreement, I'm not giving you my cash buyer. So it is a mutual beneficial contract, and it gives you control. And for God's sakes, make sure you follow up with the title company. If you do everything I just told you, it's very hard to get screwed in a wholesale deal. Remember, the deal ends when the property is sold. That's the benefit of it. So guys, if you got benefit from this, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is Rick Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video.